The I want to go back and observe how the Lord orders the authority of man. Okay, because I showed you different areas of the man has a rule. From Adam, man had dominion. But now I just want to go into show you how the Lord Himself orders the authority and how He even recognizes things, just to give a better perspective on both man and woman, that we each can evaluate some things and put ourselves where we're supposed to be. Like say you got a man's role here and a woman's role here. If both individuals just get on top of their dean and work it and nourish it and keep that marriage covenant going, a marriage that's continually nourished by cherishing love, sexual habits, all the above. But if each is standing on their own thing, they're gonna come together. They're gonna form one because each is learning how to fear the Lord. Each is gaining the knowledge of wisdom, so they'll know according to the wisdom in them how to please each other. You understand? And what it's going to do is going to renew your mind every day. It's going to cause you to see things differently, react differently, especially for the men. It's going to cause you not to walk around with such anger and bitterness towards your wife. And also for the woman, it's going to cause you to acquire more shamefacedness, even to the point where you even stop asking why. Stop being childlike. If he asks you to do something, do it. Maybe he'll tell you later after you done did it. Maybe in his mind, he wants to see that you're going to do it just because he said so. That's what our Messiah does to us as men. He gives us commandments. And watch to see if we're going to do them. There's consequences and rewards for obedience and disobedience. For both ends, from man unto the Lord, and from women unto man. We in Numbers 30.
Yeah.
Start at verse 1. We're going to read like 1 through 16, because that's the whole precept.
Numbers 30 and 1. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded.
The Lord has commanded this. Go ahead.
If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth.
Pretty self-explanatory. Keep going.
If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she has bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
So if say you got a daughter, and she vow to the Lord, you hear her, and you're like, wow, I like that, and you don't say nothing, then that what she has vowed, the Lord is going to require that of her hands. Go ahead, verse 5 though.
Verse 5, But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows, or her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her.
So even in her prayers and her commitments unto the Lord, regardless of what it is, how holy she felt it was, how consecrated, whatever next level she thought she was going to go to in this, if her father wasn't on that, or if he felt like she couldn't do it because it would just add greater sin to her, he can disallow it. He can say, I don't care how much you was in the corner crying, how long you spent in your prayer closet, don't matter. I don't want that. So it's not going to happen. Now let's go down and see what's going on with the husbands, though. Verse 6.
And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed, or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
Mm-hmm.
But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her.
So the husband has the same authority that her natural father had over her. The very same authority. No matter what she's praying, no matter what kind of commitment she wants to make unto the Lord, if the husband disagrees with it, it can't go down. You understand? Which should give women more of a reverence to the husband anyway. Just in that simple fact, because you don't want no husband sitting around just continually knocking off your vows to the Lord just because he's bitter with you. You don't want that. You don't want that, especially now that men are learning that they can do this. You understand? What verse? Go to the next one. Is that 9?
Verse 9. But every vow of a widow and her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
Now I want you to pay attention here, because you would think that you're reading the same thing, but it's about to give you a whole new idea of something. Go ahead.
But if her husband hath utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceedeth out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her.
Go ahead.
Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void.
Read that verse again.
Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he establisheth all her vows and all her bonds which are upon her. He confirmeth them, because he held his peace at the day that he heard them.
Mm-hmm.
But if he shall anyways make them void after he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity.
Let me give you the understanding on that. Say a husband and wife is on good terms. She makes a vow. He's with it, and he allowed it. And even like it's saying in verse 14, he established her vows and their bonds and everything. He's going about it. Then at some point they might get into an argument. Or however, what the Lord is saying here, once that man has begun to help her with those vows and to hold his peace at them, and she's already began them, you can't come along like, I don't want you doing that now. Because now it's on your head. Plus you're doing it in bitterness, frustration, and it says be angry but sin not. You understand? So if you allow her to do that, then that's a commitment you're making as well. So don't be trying to make her go against it or make void her vows once you done already agreed upon it. And 16.
These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house.
Read that one more time.
These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and his wife.
Between a man and who?
And his wife.
Go ahead.
Between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house.
That should be easily understood there. Man, you have the rule. You have the authority. It's time to start acting like it. It's time out for us being pansies and, just accepting the everyday norm of things. It's time out for us putting off the Lord from day to day. If you somebody who your eyes ain't open to what's going on around you, or you done seen some of these things, but you still just in refusal to react to it, you're bringing death and doom upon yourself and your family, man. You really should put some eyes on that. And I was going to close with a few admonishing scriptures from Sirach. We're going to blaze through them and we're done. We're going to start at Sirach 19.
Verse 1.
Sirach 19, verse 6. I don't know. Read 6. Well, go ahead and read 6. Lord be one to read 6.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 6. He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife, and he that hateth babbling shall have less evil.
Well, I'm glad he said that, because even in a husband's rule or role, you still got to have that guard, that check on your tongue. You understand? Because you have this role, because you have this authority, because you are a God of this earth. Psalms 82 and 6, John 10 and 34. You should really have rule over your tongue, because in it is life and death. You don't want to be a power or a God or a man of Israel walking around your house speaking death upon your house. You understand? And vice versa. Woman, you don't want to be a queen of this earth, a woman of Israel speaking death to a man you're supposed to uphold, to a man that you're committed to for life. You understand? Now let's jump down to verse 18.
Ecclesiasticus 19, verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love.
Right.
The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
The doctrine of life is in the commandments.
The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom the performance of the law, and the knowledge of his omnipotency.
And all wisdom, right? Now let's go down to verse 24.
Verse 24. He that has small understanding and feareth the Most High is better than that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High.
29.
Verse 29. A man may be known by his look, and one that hath understanding by his countenance when thou meetest him.
So he's saying when you come across a man, and you know we deal with it all the time. We're dealing with people who we've never met before, who we've never seen before. Heck, we get people stepping off the plane saying, "I'm here," and we don't even know who the heck they are. So these kind of scriptures come into play. That's why I said men, it's time for that pansy stuff to be put off. You got to start putting on the richness of the word, that you can discern things faster and wiser. You understand? It said, a man may be known by his look, and one that have understanding by his countenance when thou meetest him. The word gonna give you that kind of keenness about things that you can pick up on men as soon as you stand by him, as soon as you meet him, as soon as you shake hands and look him in his eyes. Let's go to chapter 26. 3 more precepts and we're done. 26 and 20.
Ecclesiasticus 26, verse 20. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock.
Now, I'm going to pause you right there. This ain't talking about farming, okay? It's not talking about no rice patch. You understand? But thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field. That's when he's saying, when you find a woman talking to a man, because this chapter starts off saying, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife. So he's saying, when you come across a woman that you see is a fruitful possession, sow it with thine own seed. Keep going.
Trusting in the goodness of thy stock.
Trusting in the goodness of thy stock. We are the stock of Abraham. And we're becoming a knowledgeable stock of Abraham. You understand? So you want a woman on your team that's going to be fruitful in that area. One who is searching and seeking the kingdom first. Keep going.
Verse 21. So thy race which thou leavest shall be magnified, having the confidence of their good descent.
Having the confidence of their good descent. There are ancient writings that says the prayers of a son that comes from righteous parents, the prayers of a righteous man who comes from a righteous parents are heard before the prayers of a righteous man who come from unrighteous parents. So that's why he said having the confidence of their good descent. Keep going.
Verse 22. And harlot shall be accounted as spittle.
A harlot shall be accounted as spittle. If you somebody who just going around letting different dudes hit it, you spit. That's what you consider spit. Okay? Now, if that's what you're going to be on, your best bet is to go ahead and just be a man's concubine and come up out of that unrighteousness. You understand? Go ahead.
But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband.
A married woman is a tower against death to her husband. But the woman going to have to understand how to be that tower against death. That comes by wisdom and understanding. That comes by the laws of our heritage and the doctrine of life. Go ahead.
Verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
So sometimes the people we got is our own fault, though. You understand? Sometimes it's our very own fault that we with this person.